Yesterday, as I was taking the garbage outside to the garbage bin, I suddenly felt too tired for such a simple chore. Why did I have to do this too? After all, I was well entitled to be tired. After a half a day of menial tasks, right? Well, as I was looking on the ground thinking about it and complaining for some 10 seconds or so in my head, my eyes came across this tiny creature that moved frenetically on the ground. You think you're productive? You think you grind? Let me introduce you to a creature that would outwork you every single day. No breaks, no distractions, no excuses. The ant. This tiny insect operates on a level of efficiency and discipline that makes human productivity look like a joke. And here's the kicker. It does it all without motivation, without procrastination, and without ever complaining. So sit back, listen up, and prepare to feel ashamed of your lazy habits. I know I did. Because today, you're going to learn why an ant would absolutely outwork you every single day. Just as it has me. First off, ants don't wait for motivation. They don't wake up and say, I don't feel like working today. No way. The moment they're awake, they're moving. Ants follow a strict division of labor. Workers, soldiers, foragers, nurses, architects. Everyone has a job. No one slacks. If an ant stops pulling its weight, the colony doesn't just sit around and hope it gets its act together. It gets replaced. Compare that to humans, hitting snooze 5 times, scrolling endlessly, waiting for the right mood to start working. When was the last time you woke up and started moving immediately? No distractions, no excuses. Just work. Let's hit you with some science. Ants carry up to 50 times their body weight. Imagine carrying a truck on your back while still making progress. They work non-stop, following a decentralized system of efficiency. No meetings, no micromanagement, just pure execution. So much for going on labor strikes. Ants build mega structures underground with ventilation, food storage, and even farming systems, all without blueprints. Army ants don't even build nests. They move as a living swarm, hunting constantly and covering up to 20 meters an hour. They can solve complex problems like mazes and even optimize their foraging routes to be as efficient as possible, smarter than half the people lost in grocery store aisles. Some species of ants create bridges with their own bodies to help others cross gaps. They literally become the foundation for progress. When was the last time you stepped up for your team? Ants store food and plan for scarcity. Meanwhile, you struggle to meal prep for the week. Oh, that was for the highly organized humans. You're still struggling to cook lunch. Ants don't get distracted. They don't take 2-hour coffee breaks. They stay focused until the job is done. When was the last time you worked for even 1 hour without checking your phone? Yep, that's what I thought, so. Meanwhile, you're struggling to finish that one task because you just don't feel like it. Ants don't get days off. They don't get sick days. They don't complain about how it's too hard. Leafcutter ants can cut and transport leaves up to 20 times their own weight, without whining. When was the last time you pushed through discomfort instead of giving up? Fire ants form living rafts to survive floods, working together to stay afloat. Meanwhile, you crumble when one small thing goes wrong. Worker ants can make thousands of trips a day to gather resources for the colony. Meanwhile, you struggle to carry all the grocery bags in one trip from the car to the kitchen. See the difference? Ants communicate effectively using pheromones, creating an efficient information network. Meanwhile, you leave messages on red and complain about miscommunication. You think an ant stops and says, maybe I should take a self-care day? No way. It works until the job is done. No retreat days for the tiny and organized ant. And if it dies doing the work, the colony keeps going, because its purpose is clear, and every contribution counts. Meanwhile, you miss one morning alarm, and your whole day is ruined. Think your life is hard? Think again. You try living like an ant for a day. Imagine waking up underground in total darkness, There's no alarm clock, no comfy bed, just the pressure of thousands of tiny bodies moving around you. Before you can even think, you're already working. Your first task? Haul a seed 20 times your body weight through a crowded, chaotic tunnel. No excuses, no stopping for breakfast, just work. Can you do that? Now, you're sent outside. The world is massive, hot, and dangerous. You dodge giant feet, avoid hungry birds, and march in a straight line with hundreds of others. No one talks, no one gets distracted, just focus. When was the last time you worked without distraction? You finally reach the food source. Phew, you think you finally finished, but then you realize it's 5 times larger than you. You don't complain. You just pick it up and start hauling it back. Step after step, no breaks, no whining. Meanwhile, you struggle to carry your own body weight for more than 2 miles. Can you really say you're working hard? Halfway back, rain starts pouring. The path is flooded. Do you panic? Absolutely not. You work with your team, linking bodies to form a bridge. No hesitation, no second thoughts, just problem solving. When was the last time you solved a problem without overthinking it? You make it back, drop the food, and guess what? You don't stop. You go back out. Again and again and again. Thousands of times. Until the job is done. Could you handle that grind? Or would you quit after the first round? Here's the truth. If you adopted even 10% of an ant's discipline, you'd be unstoppable. Imagine if you woke up every day with one goal. Execute. No overthinking, no procrastination, no excuses. Just work. Ants don't need reminders. They just know what needs to be done. Do you? Ants don't compare themselves to others. They just work. Are you too busy watching others instead of focusing on your own grind? Ants don't waste time. They optimize their routes to be as efficient as possible. How much time do you waste every day doing things that don't matter? Ants build empires underground, brick by brick, 1 grain of sand at a time. What have you built today? You're out here waiting for motivation. Ants, they don't wait. They just build. So the question is, are you going to keep making excuses or are you going to move like an ant? The choice is yours, but just know, right now, somewhere underground, an ant is outworking you, and it always will. Think about that the next time you procrastinate on your goals. If this hit you, if you felt that burn, good. Now do something about it. Get up. Get to work. Be relentless, and remember, in the grand scheme of productivity, an ant would outwork you every single day. Now go prove me wrong.